This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face, you with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game, talk trash all you want. To me it's all the same, you won't leave with much when you come in second place. And I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gon' cry to your mama cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello everyone and welcome to the HPT. My name is James Larson and joining me tonight, poker professional and 3-time bracelet champion, Mr. Dutch Boyd. We're here to wrap up our episode right here smack dab in the middle of the heartland, Altoona, Iowa, here at the Prairie Meadows Racetrack Casino Hotel. Last week we saw a lot of fireworks. We started with 9, we lost 5, and we only have 4 players remaining.
Short-handed play, you really have to dial up the aggression when you're at this stage. Now, 3 of these guys have previous HPT final table experience, so I'm really expecting some high-level poker today, James.
It's always fun to be back here in Altoona. This is our 4th stop to Prairie Meadows, and we've awarded over $925,000 in main event cash. 4 players remaining, and look at that cash. Up top, just over $69,000, but the minimum right now, Dutch, $19,179. That's good money.
Yeah, this is really when every single move matters so much. You look at those pay jumps, and they're just getting more dramatic as we go on. 4 players left.
Travis leading the group, but right behind him is Michael Hahn and Ku Vang, and then Matt Alexander rounding out the groups. But look at the big blinds, 93, 44, 41, and 40. So
everyone well in this, and you look at like Matt Alexander is not exactly a short stack. 40 big blinds is so much play at this point. It's really unusual to have a tournament with such a great structure where you get down to 4-handed and you still have all players feeling very comfortable seeing a flop.
Blinds are 12,000, 24,000 with a 3K ante. Michael's going to raise it up to 55,000. Travis gets out of the way. Now over to Matt Alexander, who's going to make the call with King, Queen suited up in clubs. Now, 4 players remain, so hand selection and range, everything changes.
Yeah, it really does. Once you start getting down to 4 players, you really need to be much more active at the table. You need to be looking at a lot of flops, and wow, Ku's going to love this flop.
Flop is 9-8-7, so that fits right into Ku's hand, doesn't it?
Flopping the joint. I mean, it couldn't fit much better. Rainbow, this is just beautiful for Ku. Decides to go ahead and check and hopefully get Michael the continuation bet. Michael, got top pair as well, and for his credit, he just checks back. And I don't think Michael's going to love that turn, but it actually saves him quite a bit of money here. But Matt deciding to take a stab at it and saying, okay, well, if you guys won't take it, I'll just try to take it.
He bet 65,000, and Ku's not going anywhere, is he?
No, good call by Ku, right? I mean,
yeah.
A fold would be a disaster. You got to love Matt's aggressiveness and optimism here, trying to win this with King High. Now, he looks at the 10. Everyone has the straight here. Ku has the better straight. This is actually a pretty good river card for Ku because he might get some calls from his opponents thinking that maybe they're splitting the pot.
Matt's going to check, so action is to Ku.
It's kind of interesting. This is, with this bet here, you kind of want to represent that you're pushing them off of a situation where you're splitting.
He's going to bet 260,000, and I don't think Matt's going to fall for it this time.
Matt, he feels like they're probably splitting. I'm impressed with the fold here if he can make it. Wow, and he is folding. I mean, I think a lot of players are making the call, hoping to get the money back and split the pot with Ku there. He decides to give Ku credit for a jack, which I think is pretty strong.
The winner of the hand is Ku Vang, and we'll be right back after these messages. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson, joined by professional poker player Dutch Boyd. We're in Altoona, Iowa, right here at the Prairie Meadows Racetrack Casino Hotel. Our final 4 players, Travis, Ku, Michael, and Matt. And you see the percentages, you see the chips, but I really think it's anybody's game. You got Travis up top, Matt rounding out the group, and again, Matt Alexander, that guy right there, has a lot of experience. He's still my guy. I think he's going to take it down. All right, blinds 12,000, 24,000 with a 3K ante.
So Travis looks down here at Queen 8. You don't need much to raise when you're four-handed. You know, the idea here, play aggressively, take the blinds and antes when you can, and when you can't, go ahead and take it with a C-bet. And here we have Travis playing the aggressor, which I like.
He's going to raise to 52,000. Matt Alexander, and yeah, he picked up a hand. It's time for a 3-bet to 125,000 with pocket eights.
And this could be trouble. I mean, when you're four-handed, any pocket pair looks good. And we see Matt with the pocket eights making the 3-bet, which is good. But now we have Michael with sevens. Yeah, so this is going to be a disaster for Michael, who shoves all in. Travis gets out of the way. I would expect Mac to make the call. And this is kind of one of those just cooler spots where the hands could easily be reversed and it goes the same way. You know, give Matt the sevens, give Michael the eights, and his hand plays the same way. Matt does make the call, and Michael sees the bad news.
Well, Dutch, I don't know if, well, obviously Michael doesn't realize it, but he's got more chips than Matt does.
Yeah, he's going to be still in this tournament no matter what, but
he's standing up.
He's getting ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's ready to walk out the door, and don't forget, he can still hit a 7. Turn card is the Queen of Hearts. He's got his backpack on. He took the microphone off. He's halfway out the door.
He actually even congratulated him for the win with the river card coming.
And the river?
Yeah, the river's no help, so Michael's going to lose this hand, but he thinks he loses the tournament with his hand.
That's pretty close.
I mean, I know he wants to get back to the Waffle House, but I got to check my math here. He's got a few chips left. A chip and a chair. Sit down, young man.
You're free rolling from here, Michael. You're going to do the verification, and indeed, Michael has Matt covered. He still has a shot at 69,000.
Now, Dutch, I've seen guys stand up. I've seen guys shake, but I've never seen the microphone ripped off basically before the flop, or it was right after the flop.
Yeah, it's almost like he's never seen pair flop a set here.
Wow. Unbelievable. So Michael's going to sit back down.
But pretty deflated. That was a huge pot. I believe that's going to give Matt pretty comfortable chip lead at this point.
Unbelievable.
And it's going to put Michael way at the bottom with just a few big blinds.
James Larson, Dutch Boyd, hanging out in Altoona, Iowa here at Prairie Meadows. Blinds are going up 15,000, 30,000 with a 4K ante. We start with that man right there, Ku Vang. I love that name, Ku Vang.
It is a pretty cool name, and Ace-Jack suited is a pretty cool hand.
Yeah, it sure is. He's going to raise to 48,000. I always say in hearts, it even looks better. You look down at that, you see both the hearts, the ace and the jack. You're four-handed. You're thinking, I'm going to take this down.
Well, Travis is not going to go without at least seeing a flop here. With Queen 7 suited, you can't really blame him. Four-handed, you start looking at Queen 7, and it starts looking like Ace-King.
Flop is Jack 5-4, couple of diamonds.
So Travis completely whiffs it. He checks here, and I would kind of expect him to just check fold.
Trav checks. Who's going to bet 58,000?
So Travis taking an interesting line here. I don't really think that he's check calling here hoping to hit a queen or a 7. I think that he's check calling here as an out-of-position float. I think he must have a plan for this hand. So that is probably going to change the plan. The fact now that Travis actually hits a flush draw, now he's just going to lead out and semi-bluff instead of just pure bluff. But this is not the flush draw he wants to hit. I mean, Ku now has top 2 pairs, just crushing Travis. You can see the percentages there, 81-19.
The bet is 112,000 chips by Travis. Over to Ku.
To put it into perspective, it's almost as if Ku has pocket aces pre-flop against Travis's pocket 7s. You know, that's kind of the edge you're looking at here. So Ku slow playing the hand, deciding that he's going to go ahead and allow Travis to go ahead and fire out a big bluff on the river. And if he doesn't, he's got position, so he'll get value out of it.
And the river card is the 9 of spades.
So this is a disaster for Ku. I mean, Ku's going to go ahead and call here with his top 2 pair, maybe even raise, but he's not going to like the news. And there you see Ku does call. Travis turns over the Queen 7, and Ku's just sick about it, kind of trying to replay, wondering why he would even call on the flop. He must have had some sort of plan.
So it goes runner, runner, flush. Travis wins the hand, but luckily Ku didn't lose more money on that.
You got to hand it to Ku. He showed a lot of discipline there. Not going for extra value there on the river. Really well played by Ku.
You know, everybody's playing great poker, and they always do right here in the middle of the heartland. It's Altoona, Iowa, Prairie Meadows Racetrack Casino Hotel, and when we come back, we'll have more exciting action. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and professional poker player Dutch Boyd right here, Altoona, Iowa, Prairie Meadows, Racetrack, Casino, Hotel. Now, before we get back to the action, you've played on the HPT before. You've done our commentary on the live stream. Now you're here in the booth, but I keep hearing about this Twitch. What's this Twitch all about? And you've integrated the HPT in your Twitch broadcasts.
Yeah, so Twitch is great. You know, it's real time, it's live, and it's interactive with the audience. What we've been doing with HPT is taking some of these episodes on my Twitch stream and really putting the players under the microscope, focusing on every small movement, pausing, talking about a hand for 15 minutes. You know, we really have the luxury of being able to take an hour-long episode like this that maybe doesn't tell the whole story and really stretch it on as long as it takes.
Well, speaking of that, I've only got an hour, so I've got to get back to the action, Dutch. Here from Altoona, Iowa.
You look down, you see Michael here with 13 big blinds, but 13 big blinds, that's still a lot of play. It's still a lot of play. I mean, the structures of the HPTs are better than any other tournament structure I've ever played, including the World Series structures.
52.
Now, if you're joining us late, speaking of Michael Hahn, he had his sevens up against pocket eights by Matt Alexander. He thought he was eliminated. He actually had his backpack on, took his microphone off, but he still had chips, but now they're all going in the middle. I think he's got a hot date or something.
Well, he's got the best of it here. I mean, he's got ace-jack suited, so he's liking his hand, four-handed.
269.
Looks like Travis is going to make the call here. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like Michael has enough to have some fold equity. Travis,
Gamble.
Gamble, a man after my own heart.
I mean, he puts the chips in. He knows he's going to be behind. I don't really know what Travis is hoping for there, but he's not, you know, at least he has live cards, so it's not as bad as it looks.
So, Dutch, you know this as a professional poker player, how the pay jumps from fourth to third to second to first. Right now, $19,179, but if you can hang around and get third, it's $26,000 and change.
Yeah, the jump at this point is as much as ninth place made. So, wow, we see Travis jumping in the lead with a pair of queens, and that's $7,000 queen there.
Turn card is the 5 of hearts.
Yeah, for Michael. I mean, this is when you actually have to get up and take your wireless mic off and
grab your backpack.
Put your backpack on. Probably should have done that on the flop, actually,
right.
Michael. So
he looks tired. He's ready to get out of here.
It's kind of like deja vu. He's thinking, man, I felt this before. Maybe I haven't. No, I don't have him covered.
Whoa, look at that! The ace of clubs.
And he's back into it.
He's got alligator blood. The the backpack's coming off. Give me my microphone back. We're going to have to wait to get to the Waffle House there, Michael.
And he's back into it. He's like, yeah, I knew it was coming.
A two-outer for Michael Hahn.
Nice.
He was ahead going in. When the money got in the middle, he was a pretty significant favorite and probably shouldn't have even gotten called. So, you know, you can't really start a bad beat with, so I made the call with Queen 6 suited.
I'm still worried Michael's late for a date or something. It just seems like he's ready to get out of here. He wants to get his cash and go. Trav's going to raise to $65,000. Matt Alexander, who makes the call with Jack 10. And Koo's going to raise it up. He's got ace-7. Going to raise to $190.
And it's just such a huge difference between fourth and first. You look at that, a $50,000 difference.
When you're sitting there four-handed, Dutch, and you've been there so many times, are you thinking about the money?
You're always thinking about the money. You're always looking at the pay jumps, but really you're thinking about the money up top.
Yeah, we all say we're not thinking about the money, but we're thinking about the money.
Yeah.
The money's on our mind, let's be honest.
It's a lot of money.
I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Not sure who did that. All right, so Travis.
You always want to be the last man standing with the money.
The money. Hey, yeah, we could make a couple of songs. The flop is King, Queen, 6, 2 hearts.
So pretty interesting flop. We got Matt with the open-ended straight draw. I mean, that's what he's hoping for. You know, we've got Travis getting a piece of it. This is not the best flop for Koo, so I would expect that he's going to just check fold to any sort of aggressive act.
Action on Travis Remmer.
Well, he gets Matt off of his open-ended straight draw. You know, he bet 2/3 pot, 400,000.
All right, Dutch, so Travis is going to win that hand. Only 4 players remain, and, you know, 4th place right now is going to pay just over $19,000. But you don't enter a poker tournament. You would know this being a pro player. You never enter saying, well, I think I'm going to settle for 4th place.
Absolutely not. All of these players have had the whole night to think about winning that championship, winning that $69,000 up top, and 3 of these guys are going to be really disappointed.
And when we come back from this quick commercial break, we will continue final table action. You're watching the HPT.
Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and poker professional Dutch Boyd, not to mention 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet champion Dutch Boyd. And we look at the stats, at the chip counts, still leading it is Ku Vang.
And look, Michael is now back in 3rd place after almost being out the door twice. The backpack luck.
Yeah, you know, if you're just joining us, I talked about this before the last break. Michael thought he was all in and had his backpack on, took the mic off, made his way to the door, which says, come on back, you still got more chips. And then he got it all in again. And right after the flop, he stood up, put the backpack on again, and headed for the door, and we had to wave him back. So Travis is going to raise with ace-4, and now over to Matt Alexander. He's going to 3-bet shove with pocket 7s.
4-handed, you know, he's short. This is the right move. You know, you're basically looking at a shove or fold spot in Matt's situation. And Ku with the 6s is probably going to call. Yeah,
He
so
makes the call.
Any pocket pair when you're 4-handed looks pretty strong. And this is kind of one of those cooler spots where, I mean, maybe Ku can fold pre-flop, especially with, you know, with Travis also to have to worry about. But yeah, Ku's not going to like the news here.
Yeah, Trav's going to get out of the way. So it's Matt versus Ku. Pocket 7s versus pocket 6s.
And it's just notched.
Gosh, we've seen this before just a few hands ago. 8s versus 7s. Now we have 7s versus 6s. And we go to the flop, and it's Queen, 10 deuce, 2 hearts.
So it doesn't help anybody, but actually it really helps the player who was ahead pre, you know, Matt. So Ku's chances of escaping from this one shrinking by the street.
The ace of clubs comes on the turn. Matt hoping to fade either of the 2 red 6s left in the deck. And if he does, he's going to double up and be in great shape, Dutch.
Yeah, he sure is. And Ku's just looking deflated.
We go to the river card now, and it's the 10 of diamonds. So that's going to do it. 2 pair for Matt. 10s and 7s. He's going to win this pot. And I'm going to give some advice to these guys. I know they can't hear me. That's not a guy you want to give more chips to. He won one of these back in 2010 for just under $50,000. This guy knows how to play.
Matt Alexander, that's a name to remember.
Yeah, he's when you get up to the Minneapolis area, like I said, they've got kind of a gang up there. Yeah. Him and his friends, they play a lot of poker. They're very well respected in the poker community, and we see them a lot here on the HPT. You saw the corner graphic, the blinds and antes going up 20-40 with a 5K now.
So each big blind now at this point represents more than a starting stack. When you put out the big blind and you look down and you realize that's a person that busted in this tournament. The price of poker is pretty high.
It is pretty high, Dutch, right here on the HPT. He's Dutch Boyd. I'm James Larson. Michael raises $85,000 with a very pretty hand, the ace-queen of hearts.
Looks pretty good 4-handed in the cutoff, and you would expect him to raise there. We've got Matt defending in the small blind, and when you're short-handed like this, you really do need to make it a post-flop game.
Action to Ku Vang. He's been playing poker since 2004.
And that's a raise.
That certainly is a raise to $210,000. And now look at Michael, a 4-bet shove.
Yeah, real quick, too. I mean, so this is a bit of a mistake by Ku because he kind of reopens the action. I think that he was getting the right odds to call, even if he knew that he was in a dominated spot.
Matt folds, and Ku's going to look him up. He makes the call, and we're going to flip over the cards.
And it's really interesting. It's so little to call for Ku. You know, it's only $65,000 more. So this was kind of an interesting spot. Michael started the hand pretty short. Instead of shoving, he decided to kind of make a normal raise. I think that, oh, wow.
Look at that. King, Jack, 5, couple of hearts. So Ku out flops Michael, but Michael still has the Broadway option and the hearts.
Yeah, and technically Michael's actually ahead if you look at the equities here. I mean,
but he doesn't look very happy, Dutch.
No, and he shouldn't look happy. I mean, he was 3-1, and now he is a coin flip, so his equity did get a little lower.
And now we go to the turn card. It's the 8 of clubs. So one card to go for the future of Michael Hahn at this final table.
Yeah, and now, for the first time in the hand, he's actually behind, and he's going to need some help.
He's going to need some help, you're right. Otherwise, he'll be eliminated in 4th place.
But he looks very confident here.
Yeah, he's not walking. He hasn't called the valet. He hasn't put his backpack on. But I think he probably should have this time as the 4 of clubs comes on the river. That's going to do it for that man right there, Michael Hahn from Indianapolis, Indiana. He's a horticulturist, and he's going home with $19,179. Dutch, you can buy a whole lot of plants with that.
And a lot of waffles.
All right, Dutch, time to step aside from the final table real quick to bring you a segment we call A Poker Life with the true living legend, the Texas Dolly himself, Doyle Brunson. Now, in tonight's episode, Doyle talks about his first trip to Vegas. I remember my first trip to Vegas, but nobody wants to hear about that. How about you? You grew up in the heartland, Columbia, Missouri. What did it feel like the first time you went out to Las Vegas?
Well, I stepped off the Greyhound, walked across the street, and checked into Nevada, and it was beautiful. Fremont Street, the lights, and so much opportunity. 21 years old, just ready to go right into poker.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was magical.
When I first came to Las Vegas, they were so easy I couldn't believe it. I know for 7 years, people find it hard to believe. My first 7 years here, I didn't know how to play limit. I'd never played limit until I was 50 years old. But the no limit, I just sat around and waited for the no limit game. And I actually don't think I ever lost in a no limit hold'em game where the predominant chip was a black chip. The real high games, we called them. I might have lost in some of the green chip games, the $25 chip games, but it was to the point where all the players thought I was cheating some way. Wasn't no reason to cheat. I mean, they were just such bad players that it was a bunch of novices against professionals. There were 2 or 3 guys from Texas moved up here about the same time. This guy from Tennessee, Long Goody, James Roy, Sarge, Puggy, and it was like a strawberry patch. I mean, we all won a lot of money.
Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson, Dutch Boyd. 3 players remain here in Altoona at the Prairie Meadows Racetrack Casino Hotel. These 3 players have all been here before. As a matter of fact, Koo was in this exact same spot last year, and he finished second. So anything short of first place, and I truly mean that with Koo, will be a disaster.
It's not often that you have a second shot.
Right.
He has a second chance here, and for the last year, he must have been thinking about all of the mistakes he made not to get that championship. He has another shot. Let's see if he can do it.
And I don't like to pick favorites, but if I had to say who I think is going to take this thing down, I got to go with Matt Alexander for the experience. He won one of these back in 2010, and he's part of that Minneapolis mafia that just can't be denied.
Yeah, I am going to deny it. I'm going to say Koo takes this down. Having gotten so close before, I think that this is his moment to shine.
There you can see the number of big blinds, and really everybody's kind of bunched up, Dutch.
They're all right there, 40 big blinds, lots of play left.
Up top, $69,000 and change. Second place, $42,961, and the minimum cash right now, just over $26,000. So this is really when poker gets fun. You're 3-handed, you're guaranteed a nice payday, and you're playing on national TV.
And these payouts are just so dramatic, too, James. You look at first, $69,000 is actually more than second and third combined. So every decision just really matters at this point. And, I think we're going to see a lot of aggression from Matt. And all of these players have enough experience to realize that you just can't, knit their way to first here.
It's going to be very competitive. It's going to be also a lot of fun to watch. The flop is 6-4 deuce, couple of hearts. Koo will check over to Travis, and not a bad flop for T-Bone there.
I mean, this is the designer flop. He just, flops the joint. But Matt actually has overcards and a flush draw. So Matt is going to feel so much more confident in his hand than he would if he realized that Travis has just destroyed this flop, just crushed it with this is the perfect flop for him. Wow, so Matt is going to go ahead and fire out.
Matt's going to bet $135,000. Now, Koo caught a small piece of that flop. He caught middle pair.
Right, and he should feel confident and comfortable with his middle pair. I mean, he has to worry about a 6. In Koo's mind, he's not worried about a straight. He's not really worried about a flush draw here. I think that he'll probably decide that, his 4 is no good now that Travis does the check raise.
And I like this check raise because you've got a bet, a call. Yeah, let's re-raise this. I just flopped a straight. Let's get this thing up to $350,000. Let's get rid of one of these guys at least.
1.1 million.
Yeah, I like the check raise too. And look what he did. He gave Matt the opportunity to go ahead and make the shove, and Travis is going to make the call. It's basically goes all in, but it's the same. So Matt not having as many outs as he thinks he did have.
And this could be it for Matt Alexander if he doesn't catch a heart.
This is a huge pot. Whoever wins this is going to take the chip lead by a pretty good margin.
Now the ace of clubs comes on the turn, so really nothing changes there.
Yeah, so Matt looks like he's going to be out the door here unless he hits one of those 9-out or like a 9-out or one of those hearts. It's really not looking good for Matt.
Travis in good shape here to win this hand. Matt is all in, and look at that on the river, the 7 of hearts.
And that's amazing. Look at that. He knows he just slid through that. He just caught an incredible break there. Travis flopping the straight, getting Matt to get all of the chips in there against the nuts, and Matt catching up with that river card. Such a brutal river card.
That poker is so brutal. I mean, things like that happen all the time, Dutch. Now
look at Travis. He's just so deflated. Yeah. I mean, like, that was the difference between $69,000 and $26,000 in real money, and he's just sick about it. So here he looks down. He's got the pocket kings. He goes in and goes all in because at this point he's so short stacked that a normal raise doesn't make sense.
And he's still got an overcard there to his kings as Koo calls with ace tray. And you're right, Trav's going to be thinking about this hand probably the entire way back from Altoona to Cedar Rapids, which is about a 2-hour drive. 8-5 tray is the flop, couple of diamonds. So Travis smiles a little bit saying, all right, maybe I can double up here and get right back in this.
It's a good flop, and it could be a good start to a comeback. But if Koo does catch the... Now Koo could hit the runner flush, and man, if Travis loses this hand, he's going to be going home.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
He's saying don't do it. He's smiling. He's hiding behind the podium, the camera area.
I mean, he's still in pain just thinking about the straight.
Look at he looks scared. He's back there kind of hiding.
You'll get a talking to.
Oh, and the deuce of diamonds. Come on.
Nice hit.
I mean, look at this. Travis even had the king of diamonds, too.
Travis had the king of diamonds.
He's going to go home and talk about these two hands, and you're going to hear this. You're going to hear him say, nothing I could do. Nothing I could do. And usually, I hate it when people say that. It makes it sound like they were a victim to the cards. But, in this case, I think that the right thing to say is I played it right.
So now it's the best part in the program because it's heads-up poker. Matt Alexander against Koo Vang. It's anybody's game, and this is going to be fun. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson, joined by professional poker player Dutch Boyd. Before we get back to the action, Dutch, what do you think so far? And do you like sitting here up at the desk? And what do you think about being able to see these hole cards?
Well, this is pretty great. I've always been a huge fan of the HPT, and we're seeing a lot of really good action at the final table here.
We started with over 170 players. Now we're down to our final 2, and look at the chips in play. Look at the big blinds. Look at the stack swings. It's pretty much heads up, and it's pretty much a tie in chips right now for both these players.
They are dead even. Both of them have a lot of experience in this situation, but I think that Matt has closed before. Koo has come in second. So
Koo got close. All right, let's give him a little more credit. Last year, same table, same place. He got second. He's right back. It's almost like deja vu
for him.
It is.
It's rare that a player gets a second chance, and here he is given a second chance. We'll see what he can make of it.
Wow, look at this flop. 2 10s and a king. Koo is loving this. He'll check that right over to Matt.
Yeah, and Matt's loving it too. He flopped an open-ended straight draw. He doesn't have to put Koo on a king or a 10. And if Koo doesn't have a king or a 10, Matt's going to just be able to just take it with a C bet here.
Matt bets $110,000. Now action over to Koo. And what do you do here, Dutch? Do you call or do you raise?
I don't know. You could play it both ways. It looks like Koo going for the check raise. I'm not really a big fan of slow playing, especially on these kind of draw-heavy boards. Koo crushed the flop, but there's enough of a reason for Matt to find an excuse to call They're so deep at this point, the only way that they're really going to be able to play for stacks is if Koo goes for a check raise instead of just check calling.
The turn card now is the 5 of clubs. Action once again on Koo.
So you'd expect him now to go ahead and fire out. If he's going to check raise that flop and get called, he should try to bet enough here that maybe they can play a really big pot on the river. He fires out more than half pot, so he is doing that. Just what I said. He's firing out big. He's hoping that Matt has a king that he won't let go, or even has a 10 that's weaker, and he also wants to charge him for any sort of flush draw or straight draw, combo draw.
So Matt thinks about it, and he's going to make the call. Can't really blame him. A lot of money on the line, though. 8 of clubs falls on the river.
Yeah, so that's not really that interesting of a river. We're going to expect Koo to go ahead and value bet his hand and Matt to just make the fold. But, it's pretty interesting. A 9 comes out, an ace comes out. That's gonna really hurt Koo. Queen or a jack comes out. We'll see if Matt can find the fold button.
Matt trying to win his second HPT title. Koo's trying to win his first title.
And it's so interesting. You look at this point, and the difference between second and first is that river card.
I know. It's unbelievable how poker is just, it's a game of inches.
And Matt is just, he's so sad. He's thinking about what could have been if it was a 9 or an ace, and he just gives it up. For a second, you could see a little flash of maybe I can bluff it, but he wisely just decides to go ahead and fight another day.
I want to remind you to check out our webpage at hptpoker.com. Find an event that will work for you, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the unreal cash.
And I have a website too, jamesdutchboyd.com. Check that out too for some thoughts.
Absolutely. It's nice having you in the booth. I've definitely learned a lot here the last couple of weeks. Having you sit next to me, I'm probably not going to play any poker against you in the immediate future, but I appreciate you helping us out here on the HPT. The flop is ace-9-4. It's a rainbow. And we start with Matt Alexander.
And look at that. Matt goes ahead and checks with his pair of aces. He must be putting Koo on absolutely no outs here and just hoping that he can catch up to something that he can call with on the turn.
And the turn card is the 8 of clubs.
So this is exactly what Matt wants here. He's trying to get Koo to catch up on the turn so that Koo can call his bet on the turn. Here he fires out a half pot size bet, and this is exactly what happened. Koo caught up. Now he's going to make the call. And depending on what the river is, Matt might be able to get another street of value.
A pot of over 400,000 chips. We go to the river now, and it's another ace, this time the ace of hearts.
Yeah, and this is a really bad card for Koo because now it makes it less likely that Matt started with an ace. And you got to think that Koo's going to call, but how much can Matt extract from him? He can't get too greedy here, or he can give Koo an opportunity to get away from his hand.
And really, 285, that's a textbook amount right there, Dutch.
Well, it's a little bit higher than I think that I would have gone, but it worked. Koo immediately called. So it was a really good sizing. I think that I probably would have gotten less value out of that hand than Matt did.
Wow.
Really well played by Matt. He looked at his man on the flop, realized that his guy didn't have anything to call with, so he gave him an opportunity. That's a good example of a time when it's okay to slow play, and it worked out really well.
You are watching exclusive final table coverage from Altoona, Iowa, Prairie Meadows Racetrack Casino Hotel. It's been an awesome week. James Larson, Dutch Boyd. We started with 176, and now we're down to our final 2. You're shaking your head.
Well, here you're looking at Koo. He's looking at 7-6 offsuit, no idea what to do with it. And so he comes up with this calling on the button, and I just really don't like it. I don't like calls on the button. I don't like the open limps, but especially when you're in a heads-up spot, you really should be playing the majority of your hands on the button. But in my opinion, swinging, come in with the raise. Otherwise, you give your opponent the opportunity to try to blow you off the hand pre-flop and set himself up for an aggressive post-flop c-bet, which is exactly what Matt did.
So a lot of people talk about this limp range, though. What's that all about?
In my opinion, I just think it's always a mistake to open limp in a tournament situation, at a final table situation, and especially in a heads-up situation. So Matt here coming in with a c-bet, and Koo actually hit a little bit of it with his gut shot straight draw. And in the way that Koo played this, now what are you going to do? You gave your guy the opportunity to go ahead and take the pre-flop aggression, so you kind of expect him to c-bet with anything. So folding feels like, it's just too nitty, but, calling is just going to put him into trouble on the turn in the river. So this is really why it's important, if you're going to play a hand heads up, to come in with the aggression.
Turn card is the 10 of clubs. Action on Matt Alexander.
So Matt actually crushed the flop. Not only has the flush draw, but also has that pair of eights. And Koo's in much worse shape than he would expect to be.
It's a bet of 190,000. Action over to Koo.
It's interesting, though. The 10 actually opens the door now. Koo has a double gut shot straight. So we could see some really interesting river cards. I mean, if it comes a 9 of diamonds, I think that we see probably the end of the tournament right here.
It's the deuce of hearts. So Matt Alexander, as you can see by the percentages, he's good. Let's see how he attacks this river now.
And he decides to take him to Value Town. You know, he decides that there's no way that Koo has an ace here. He wouldn't have limped with an ace. My 8 is good, and I think I can get paid with weaker. So it's a pretty impressive value bet. In my impression, this isn't a bluff, but Koo decides that he's not going to come over the top of him with a 7 high.
Koo's going to fold. The winner, that man from just outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, Matt Alexander.
I think both of these players are playing great high-level poker, and either one of them would be deserving of this championship, James.
And after this commercial break, the action will continue. And we're going to find out who our new champion is going to be. Will it be Matt Alexander or will it be Koo Vang? Don't go too far. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson, 3-time WSOP bracelet champion, Mr. Dutch Boyd. Well, we're still heads up, and boy, I don't know. It's going back and forth. Can you predict who you think's going to win this thing?
It could go either way. I think it's going to be Koo. You know, he came in second in this very event last year. He's had a whole year to think about how he could have turned that second into a first. It's not often in life you get second chances. So he has one here. I think he makes the most of it. You know, if Koo can't close it, he's in good company.
Well, here's the deal. First place, 69,000. Second place, just under 43. So we're playing for like 28 grand. Last time I checked, that's a lot of money.
It's a very dramatic pay difference. You know, the difference between second and first here being more than third place is, and they've both pretty much, you know, went through the same field. You know, the difference between first and second as far as effort isn't, you know, that different.
That's a great point, Dutch. That's a great point.
But then you look at the actual rewards, and it all goes to the winner. You know, second place just to gets the memory of what could have been.
Yeah, isn't it funny? The winner gets, like I said, 28,000 more. They get the big interview at the end of the deal. They get the distinction of being an HPT champion. The second place guy, it's like, all right, here's your money. You outlasted 170 other people, but we don't even know who you are anymore because I'm over here talking to the champion. It's got to be
now
frustrating.
Go think about your mistakes.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But the good thing is, just under 43,000 can, you know, that can assist that. So Matt is going to raise to 310,000, and Koo makes the call. 9 of clubs comes on the turn. Koo is actually ahead in this hand as he hit a 5 on the flop.
It's a really interesting flop. I mean, Koo has top pair. Matt has the gut shot with the overcard, so it's pretty even. Matt's going to go ahead and continue firing hard. I don't really expect Koo is just going to bow out with his pair of 5s.
How important is reading your opponent heads up? You know, you can get, is it easier to get reads with 9 players at the final table when you're heads up? Does it make it easier or harder?
Well, it's much more important heads up because you're going to just be playing so many more hands with that person. You know, a lot of times you're going to be at a table. I mean, here we have Matt getting his wheel. A lot of like times, we'll see how he plays, but I will say a lot of times you get a good read on a player, but it doesn't matter because you're just not in a lot of confrontations with them. Heads up, you're in confrontation after confrontation after confrontation. Wow, so Matt ends up getting that gut shot straight.
Yeah, things going pretty well here for Matt Alexander. And he's going to bet 600,000, and Koo's thinking, yeah, what did he have? Did he raise pre-flop? You know, he's going through the whole thing in his mind. But you're heads up, so, you know, he could have anything. And
so Koo finally finding a fold button here, and you know, I like what Matt's been doing. He's really been adjusting his sizing to keep Koo guessing. And Matt's a tough player. He's really tough to put it on a hand there, but Koo just deciding that his pair of 5s is no longer the best hand. Good fold, really. Good release by Koo. We've seen Koo make some really good calls. We've seen him make some really good folds now. So I really like the way both of these players are moving chips. I think both of them are deserving here of an HPT title.
Matt's going to raise to 100,000 with pocket 7s. We've seen Matt pick up a lot of pocket pairs tonight. I've seen 8s, I've seen 7s, I've seen 6, and ouch, this could be trouble for one of the players here. A couple of overcards for Koo. He's going to re-raise to 290,000.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting about the pairs that Matt has picked up. He's always been able to notch his opponent's pair too, and we've seen a lot of situations where, like even against Koo, Matt had 7s against Koo's 6s. He could have easily swapped those 2 hands, and it probably would have played out the same way pre-flop.
We all know how important skill is in poker, but Dutch, you got to have a good day. You got to run well.
Well, I mean, here we're going to see it.
All right, we're getting them all in. Koo all in. Matt makes the call, and we see it. It's a race. Ace, queen, and 7s.
This is where the difference comes. This is where you really see the skill. Let's see who can maverick that flop.
We're racing at Prairie Meadows Racetrack Casino Hotel. We go to the flop. It's 6-5-4, so a great flop for Matt Alexander.
I mean, you dodge the ace, you dodge the queen. That's really all you're trying to do. I mean, it doesn't matter that you have an open into the straight draw.
Yeah, we'll put that in, though, too. I mean, hey, we dodged that, and we've got the 4-5-6.
If anything, it gives you redraws if you do.
Sure. Turn card, the 6 of diamonds now, and we're 1 card away from crowning our newest HPT champion.
Look at Koo. It's just a repeat. It's like reliving a nightmare.
Koo hoping to pick up an ace or a queen, otherwise he's going to be eliminated in second. He doesn't hit it. It's the 3 of spades. That's going to do it.
Our champion, Matt Alexander, his second HPT title. Unbelievable, but we have another story here. Koo Vang, another second place. History repeating itself.
Same place, same tournament. Wow, and you saw they got it all in. Classic coin flip, and so often that's the difference between the winner and the runner-up. Is just a flip of a coin.
Now, we know everybody wants to win this thing, but Koo's going to go home with just under $43,000, and we'll see what kind of mood he's in right now. He's joined with Tiffany Michelle.
I'm Tiffany Michelle, here with our second place finisher, Koo Vang. Koo, you didn't say a lot of words today. You just played your game. Second place is difficult, but tell me about that heads-up match. You guys seemed very equally equipped to take this down.
Yeah, I think we're both pretty determined to win, and we both really wanted it, and we tried to play our best game. We got the better of it.
Did you get tired there at the end? It was a really long day for you guys.
No, it wasn't tired. I think it was just came down to a cooler. So sometimes that happens in this game.
Poker.
Yeah.
And coming into today, there's a lot of personalities, a lot of guys talking. You just played quiet, slow, and steady. Was that sort of your plan all day?
I just told myself that I was just going to focus and play real well. Whatever happens, happens. And so, I'm glad I got it this far.
$42,000 you're taking home today. Is that a okay consolation prize?
Yeah, I love it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear. Congratulations to you on second place. Congratulations. Hopefully next time you'll come back and join us on the HPT and get that win.
I will. Thank you.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks so much, Tiffany, and congratulations to Koo Vang, I think. Can we say congratulations?
I mean, if someone were to offer him second at the very first day,
Sure.
he would have been thrilled. But when you are heads up for all the marbles, second feels like losing.
But now let's go down once again where Tiffany Michelle is joined with the man of the hour, our champion, his second HPT title. I know they're going to be proud of him back in Minneapolis because I know his friends Jeremy Dresch and Tony Moses. It's a little bit of competition even though they're all good friends. Well, tonight, my friend, you are the champion. Let's head down and talk to Matt.
Here with our newest HPT Prairie Meadows champion, Matt Alexander. My first question, Matt, when you looked down at pocket sevens on that last hand, did you think this could be it?
I was hoping this would be it because I've been playing all day and night and I wanted to get it in.
And you played a really, really patient game. We know that patience is the name of poker. Was there any moment in the day that you kind of just thought, screw it, I'm going, I'm gambling? How did you keep up that patient, steady game all day?
Just stay focused, play. I constantly reminded myself to play for the win, so I stayed focused and played patient.
And how excited or terrified were you when you knew that it was going to be you and Koo going heads up?
I have a lot of experience with Koo. We both play the same casinos in Minneapolis and Minnesota. So it's probably the last person I wanted to play at the final table, but it worked out well.
Did you think going into heads up play that you would and could beat him knowing what a great opponent he would be?
I knew I could beat him, but he can beat me. We're pretty evenly matched in some cases. I think he's a little bit better, but heads up, if I get good cards, just like how it happened, I won the race with a pair against his ace-queen.
Congratulations to you. You played an excellent game. It was very fun to watch. For the HPT, I'm Tiffany Michelle here at Prairie Meadows Racetrack and Casino with our newest champion.
All right, thanks so much, Tiffany. And one more time, congratulations to Matt Alexander. I mean, Honestly, Dutch, he played great. He deserves to win this title.
I think both of the players were deserving, but Matt played amazingly well, and hats off to him.
And I'm guessing Ku Vang will be back here. He's probably buying in to next year's tournament right now with some of that 43,000, and who knows, maybe he'll come back here and get second place again.
With that record, I hope so. So number 2, second HPT championship for Matt Alexander. Wow.
It's very cool. That's something to put on the poker resume. But congratulations not only to him, but everybody who cashed this event and everybody who made the final table. I want to thank everybody here at Prairie Meadows as well. It's been an awesome week right here in Altoona, Iowa. Now, the fun doesn't stop here. We'll crisscross the country for the rest of the year. Check out our webpage at www.hptpoker.com and find an event that will work for you. And who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. And before I go, Dutch, I want to shake your hand. Great job. I had a lot of fun having you in the booth.
It's really great being here with you, James.
Awesome. Well, we're glad that you could make it. And he's Dutch Boyd, and for Tiffany Michelle, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time on the HPT.